All right, here we go. We're going to actually do a quick test review. This is actually based on your guys' responses to the quiz. So we're going to use it real quick. So if you can hopefully see the piece of paper. So we have a submarine diving. So in this case, we use an XY plot. It says submarine is diving 15 degrees down for 137 meters. So again, if you guys remember right, you have your X and Y coordinates. So in this case, that focus, we're dealing with X. So you say X is equal to 137, in this case the distance, times cosine of the angle. When you use this, it's 137 cosine because it is the adjacent leg, cosine of 15. Likewise, you've got Y, so we've got to do Y is equal to the distance times the sine of the angle. And again, it's because sine is opposite, so you have 137 sine of 15. I'm not going to give you the answers, but unfortunately, that's how you do number one. Number one should be very simple. The common mistake is people put it down here and said from 15 degrees. This is vertical, this is horizontal. So again, 15 degrees down, so that would be bad. All right, number two. Number two, this is one that hopefully people got. So you walked 12 meters due east. Then you went 27 meters south. And the last one is a hard one that typically people got wrong. This is where the people had problems, is walked 38 meters at an angle of 27 degrees north from west. 27 degrees north from west. So we have to say west. There's 27 degrees, well, 38 meters. So again, like we did on the practice problems, you sit there and break it down in X and Y. X1 is a positive 12. Y1 is near nothing. X2, well, it didn't go left to right, so X2 is 0. Y2 is negative 27 because it went down. Last but not least, again, you have to break this apart. So you sit there and say X is 38 times the cosine of what degrees? This one they said 27. Yours might have said 25 or 29. And then Y is 38 sine of 27. So we'll get the numbers here. 38 sine of 27. That's 17.25. And 38 cosine of 27. 33.86. So then X3 is negative 33.86 and Y3 is positive 17.25. Now again, you can add those up real quick. Positive 17 because it's going up, negative 27. So we'll do that plus my negative 27 gives me a Y total of negative 9.75. X total it's a negative 33. Negative 33 plus the 12 equals negative 21.86. So negative 21.86 negative 9. We're just going to do Pythagorean theorem on that right there. Plus that squared look at that, 23.93, and then inverse tangent of negative of delta y over delta x again. Negative 9.75 over negative 21.86. Sure, our calculator is going to love that for us. Negative 9.75 divided by negative 21.86. Oops, that's supposed to be divided. And that's 24 degrees. So our final answer is 24 degrees south of west. There's our first two problems. Those are big ones. Cool. So next problem is, I think, the one about kicking the rock off the cliff. Cool, yep. So we kicked the rock off a cliff, 8.7 meters per second. The cliff is 95 meters tall. They want to know delta t and the final velocity in x, y. Wow, it helps if it's in the screen so you guys can see that. So time we need to know this coming down. The easiest equation is delta y equals 1/2 ay delta t squared. So in this case, 95 equals 4.905. Again, those are both negative. Negative because it's coming down. Negative because of acceleration. T squared. Do the math. Again, negative, negative. Divide that over. You should get delta t is equal to roughly 4.39. Well, here, let's just do it. 95 divided by 4.905. And square root it. 4.4, I was off. So 4.4. 4.009, so really 4.4. Cool. So our time is 4.4. So that takes care of one of our answers. The other one is I need to find the velocity in x and y. Well, I've got the velocity in x. That's just x squared. Velocity x squared, velocity y squared equals velocity z squared. Well, the problem is I don't have the velocity y squared. But I do know Vf is equal to 1/2. What equation do we want to use? There's lots we could use. What equation did you guys use? That would be a great question to use. Because I would look on page 48 and say, okay, page 58, and go, okay, what equation can you use? Let's just use the simple one. Go, okay, V equals 1/2 times acceleration times delta t squared. So in this case, 9.81. 0.5 times 9.81 times 4.4 squared. I don't have the equation right. That's why you get the equation right off page 48. Oh, there's easy there, simple one. Let's use a simpler one. Let's just use Vf equals Vi plus A delta t. I don't have a velocity in the y direction, but I can use 0 plus 9.81 times 4.4. That's easier than using that equation. 9.81 times 4.4. VF in the y direction is 43.164. Cool. (8.7) squared plus 43.164 squared equals velocity of 44 meters per second. So there's your two equations. I think a lot of people just stopped at the 43. So I'll go ahead and put that in, 4.4, and then 44, 1 decimal place. All right. Oh yeah, the artillery shell. Let's see how many minutes we've gone. We've got 11 minutes. So I'm going to stop this video, see part 2 for the artillery shell question.